in a course of 1 year, I went from 0 sales in a neighborhood to 12 home sales. And how I did that.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this month, December 2023 episode of Ask the Experts. So, Willie, while we're waiting to get started, I'm curious, what do you usually tell people in December? Tell your agents, tell the people you're coaching when the market is slow. I mean, seasonally, obviously, December is the worst time for the market. How do you have your agents prepare for the new year and set themselves up for success?
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like we assume it's slow, but there's a lot of home sales being done right now. There's a lot of deal pendings that are being done. Like home sales happen every month. And because we work in a 60, 90-day cycle, Nick, it's you have to be careful. Like we're already started 2024. Like there's a lot of people, right, hyped up to wait. Can't wait till next year, and I just can't wait to get things going in January. Guys, it is 2024 now. All the contracts that we're receiving right now, right, are 6 or 8 weeks out, and they have a January and they have a 2024 date on it. So let's not wait. And that's one of the messages I'm getting out there is that, holidays are important, right? Thanksgiving's a holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, all the other, holidays that we have, but they're holidays. They're not weeks. They're not months. And I think that a lot of people right after, November just kind of shut things down for November and December. And these are the same agents that are struggling come February, March, because they have no pendings, no closings. So my message is don't stop the activity. Now is the time to actually double up on your activity. People are in happier moods. Yes, they're busy, but they're happier. Some people are taking vacations, staying home, using those last days that they need to get rid of. And they're home and they're happy, right? It's Christmas, it's holiday, it's, Hanukkah, it's, all the other holidays that we enjoy. And it's important to be with family, but it's also important that we don't shut things off because we don't get paid hourly. We don't get paid a salary. We don't get paid every 2 weeks. We get paid on the results that we produce. And when we stop our activity, our business stops as well. So that's a huge mistake that I see every year. Been doing it for 27 years now. And it's the same conversations with agents. And when I look back and we do an autopsy on what happened, right? They went to sleep November and December.
Yeah, so are you telling me that, Willie, I shouldn't be celebrating birth weeks? It should just be a birthday? Oh, I mean, that's just a millennial thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's so what you exactly just said, it's kind of like the bye week analogy, right? A lot of times when you have two sports teams playing and one gets upset by somebody they should have been able to beat easily, you'll often find that they had a bye week the week before. They were off of their game where the other team was as practiced as they'll ever be. Right? So that's awesome. That was
yeah, it's true.
That was good info, Willie. If you want to go ahead and pull up your presentation, we can go ahead and get started. And while you're doing that, Willie, I
will. And
good. I was just going to say to everyone in the audience, hey, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, we do this live to invite the questions because if you're wondering something in this presentation, then the thousands of people that are going to watch this online or watch the recorded version or stream it from other platforms, they probably have that same question. So please do not hesitate to ask anything that comes to mind or just even share.
All right. So before I pull the screen up, last month we went over some basics on geographic farming. And the reason why I'm bringing it up again this week, excuse me, is because I updated a lot of different things. I just taught it to our local real estate board. We had over 80 agents in there in participation, and there was a lot of questions that came up from it. So I broke it down. I put some more examples. I put some more stats of things that we should be looking at, and really broke it down. And it's more of a global look at it, if you would. versus just kind of niching down on a couple different things, because it did lead to some questions. So I'm going to rapid fire through this. Like this was I'm going to combine this into like a 45 minute meeting here for you guys. But it's going to be a lot of great content. I could send you the link for all the slides that are on here. They're actually, if you go to the chat right now, you actually see the link there where you can actually get a copy of all these slides and all the examples that are on there. So I don't want you to feel like you couldn't get it down, you couldn't copy it or whatever. Or feel free to just take pictures with your phone, if you want to do that and go through it. So I'm just going to rapid fire through it. Some of the stuff you might say, oh, I heard that last week. That's fine. I'm just going to kind of go through them quick just to go through it. But I won't take as much time on some certain things that I already went over in last month's meeting. So just sharing the slide with you. Hopefully you guys could see it here on your screen. Should have came up on here. But, how to get more listings with geographic farming. That's the topic, and that's the hot button right now. And, a lot of people got away from geographic farming. It was expensive, or it was a lot of work that they had to do, whatever situation may be. And they got into this whole digital marketing. And digital marketing is important, and it's definitely out there, but it's proven. And there's been stats to show through, the National Board of Real Estate Agents, or Realtors, I should say, and then also a lot of advertising firms put together stats. And the geographic farming by 4 or 5 times outweighs some of the costs in ROI that you do in the digital side of things. Now, again, it could be hit or miss, based on, what you're really focusing on and what your message is. But at the end of the day, geographic farming still works. It's why it's been around for 100 years, and it continues to work. And it's because it's getting in the mailbox. It's getting there. It has shelf life. People are looking at it. And it's so important to really establish your brand and who you are, but also to build that know, like, and trust factor. So this is, again, at the meeting, I had this little cell phone thing. And I think the same thing goes with you guys, right? Like, take this next 40 minutes to really listen to the information that we have on here. Shut your phones off, put them on airplane mode. Nothing's going to burn down. You're not going to lose a deal. But I think really focusing on this is going to be very important. And if you could just pick up 2 or 3 nuggets from this call today, it'll be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you in your career. I went over my case study with you guys last month, where I talked about in my farm area, I have 289 homes. I told you I was walking with my wife, and all these other signs at other real estate companies, and mine wasn't on there, and I didn't want to compete with one of my agents that lived in my neighborhood also. So I finally said, I'm going to do it. My wife's like, what are you waiting for? And I put a case study together of the 289 homes. And in a course of 1 year, I went from 0 sales in that neighborhood to 12 home sales. And how I did that, it was with geographic farming. And I broke it down a little bit better for you guys here, just to show you that we did 22 mailings. Right, so those mailings were newsletters. They were letters of introduction. They were market update letters that we sent out in flyers. And I'll show you some examples of those. Anytime we listed a property, it got a just listed and a just sold postcard. Even if we just were representing a buyer, I would give a just sold card on that. We did 10 mega open houses. Mega open houses consist of not your traditional open house, but a mega open house. And I think that would be a great call for us in the future also, is showing you how do you really amp up that open house, right? Are you just going to throw it in a newspaper or throw it online, right, on Zillow, that you have an open house coming up and show up 10 minutes before? That's a traditional way of doing it. This is why a lot of people say open houses don't work. It's not that open houses don't work, is that your marketing doesn't work, right? So the mega open house is they're promoting it the week prior. It's, boosting and getting stuff out on Facebook, Instagram. It's getting it out on LinkedIn. It's getting it out on YouTube, and even TikTok. Like, you could actually, and Nick, you guys know this, where you can go right down to zip codes, even if you wanted to concentrate and market to get that information out on an open house. But we also invite the neighbors, and that's where we pick up other seller prospects by inviting them. So instead of them feeling they're a pest, we bring them in as a guest, right? And no pun intended there, but that's really how it works, right? Where they walk in, they're hiding, they don't want to sign in, they don't want the owners to know that they're the neighbor. No, I'm inviting them in, because who better to pick out another buyer than someone that lives in that neighborhood and can give me an estimate or approximation of what they feel their feedback is on pricing. We did a home seller webinar, which is great. If you guys are not doing that, I would highly recommend sending out a postcard. Let them know you're going to do a home seller webinar just for that neighborhood, where you're going to go over stats, you're going to go over market trend for the last 12 months, and what your bold prediction is, I guess, for going into the new year. And also be able to share some marketing tips with them on what you like to do. Maybe you like to get pre-home inspections done prior to, and you can give them the reasons why they want to do that. Give them some staging tips on how to better stage their home, their curb appeal. And you could do a 45-minute webinar where you record it. Even if you only have 2 people in the neighborhood show up on it, record it and then put the replay and put it out to everyone. They're going to listen to it. It's for their neighborhood, and it's something that it's going to give you credibility. It's going to give you authority, expert status, and you're the celebrity of the neighborhood, right? Because you're preparing that, and you're the host of your own show. And then the last one on there is an ice cream event, and I think I have a video clip here I'll share with you guys of one of my agents that actually I had 2 of my agents now in Florida do these events, and they're having great success with it. The one had two listings and a buyer that she picked up. She's gotten 2 more buyers since last month that we talked, from the conversations that she had at this event, and also the follow-up flyers that were sent out. But all in all, cost on this was about $7,200. My total GCI with the 12 sales was $119,000. That was about a 16 times return. Now that seems a little bit higher, and that was because that was probably when I did it about 8 years ago, and the market was a little bit different. The market is obviously a little softer now, so maybe you get an 8 times return. Okay, even a 4 times return is really good. But my point is that it always, if you do it right, you do the follow up, you're going to get a return on investment. If you're just going to do it once or twice and it said, I didn't get any calls, that's it, you're wasting your time. So unless you're going to commit to 12 months, don't even start a geographic farm campaign. This I like to put out there. The average agent out there, if you see, has 1 or 2 lead generation pillars, right? Maybe they work their COI, maybe they work their open houses or floor time, if that's even still a thing. But these are agents that are going to do maybe 5 deals a year, 4 deals a year, right? On average. Your better agents maybe do 8, 10 deals, 12 deals a year. They're going to have 3 pillars, right? They're going to have the same thing, but they're going to have online advertisements. They're going to have stuff on Facebook, paid ads, Google pay-per-click ads, maybe buy leads through Zillow, Realtor.com. So they're going to be a little bit better, 8, 10, 12 sales a year. But your better agents, right? These agents are the ones that are doing 2 deals a month, 24, 25 plus a year. They have 8 to 10 pillars. And they're going to have all these other things that you see here on the screen, right? Online, offline, networking, social media, consistent geographic farming, which is what we're talking about today. And then obviously they'll have their niche events and virtual speaking that we talked about with different type of home seller seminars and stuff like that. But my point here is that take a look going into 2024, and I thought this was a great thing to show you. What are you going to do? What are you going to select? What are you going to add to your business going into the new year? And I gave you guys some examples, and a lot of people when I'm speaking out there like to take pictures of this screen, but gave you guys some different things to think about, like with your COI, right? Getting up to that 250 person minimum in your database. A lot of people I talk to don't even have a database, which is sad because if you don't have a database, you don't have a business. But what do you do with that database, right? 18 touch systems, sending them newsletters, postcards, texts, calls, and getting out there. Your Project 100, it's getting that first 100 that are really, really close with you, getting that list first, and then expanding it from there to get to 250. Open houses, offline leads, different ways that you can get offline leads through cold calling, through expired listings, FSBOs, different things like that. Online leads, a ton of different sources here that you can get into and buy leads for real estate. Networking, chamber events, mastermind groups, home show, bridal shows are really good ways to build your list and get names and get people that are looking to buy and sell. We got niche live events such as home seller and buyer workshops, lunch and learns that you can do, social media. You guys got that there. I guess you can add TikTok if you want to that. And then you have your geographic farm, which we're going to talk about today, with postcards, newsletter, calendar of events, and market update flyers, food drives, those type of things. These are easy to do, but they're easier not to do, right? These are easy to do and they're very effective, but you got to do it. These are just some examples of what we send out to listings when they say they raise their hand, they're looking to list their home. We have a blue box or a pre-listing kit that we send out, and that's just a copy of that. And Nick, you can stop me at any time as we go through, but I'm on a roll. So if you need to check in, just let me know.
No, you're doing great.
All right, we talked about this. Thanks. We talked about this and just rapid fire through this. Geographic farming, it tracks more listings. It's an additional lead pillar, like I mentioned to you, builds your trust that you establish and brand over time, more importantly, right? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Volvo. I mean, these guys all got it down. They understand that branding takes time and it's something that you have to do multiple times to get in front of the consumer. We talked about the positive return on investment, get you face-to-face with prospects in your community. And most of all, you're perceived as the expert, authority, and celebrity of your neighborhood. So what are some things that we need to consider before starting a geographic farm? And I talked about this, about the accessibility. Maybe for some of you that live in different parts of the country, it's hard to get in these communities. Maybe there's a limitation that's going to hinder you from marketing that neighborhood. Maybe they have an HOA and they don't allow that type of stuff to go on, or maybe it's a gated community where you can't get in and door knock, or you can't get in and drop off. We call them door drops, dropping things off, hangers and stuff like that. Maybe there's no solicitation. Maybe it's a rural area where you just can't get to it, right? Your next house is a half mile down the road. So you got to really look at the area that you want to go after, because a lot of people really start usually in the area that they live, and then they expand from there, because there's nothing worse than coming home every day and seeing other people's signs on their lawns and they didn't pick you because they don't know who you are. So really what the accessibility is, I think is important. The other thing is you got to evaluate your competition and, who's the dominant agent in that farm area. A lot of people will say, oh, I'm not going to go there because Joe's over there, or Sally's over there, or Susie's over there. And, they dominate. They're the number one agent over there. And I don't even want to waste my time. And then you pull up, there's 20 sales in a neighborhood and Susie's got 5, right? There's still 15. There's still 75% market share there that you can go after. But if there's situations where maybe it's 30% or more, I will tell you it's going to be harder for you to penetrate that neighborhood, but it's not impossible. Again, there's still 70% that you can go after, but it's got to be done consistently. And you have to have the right message that you're putting out there, and you got to research the neighborhood, right? Is it younger kids? Is it older families? Who's the avatar? Find out who the owners are. And if no one's owning that neighborhood, no agents owning that neighborhood, find out why, right? Is it because of their message? Is it because of the lack of loyalty? Maybe they're, like I said, bad marketing message, and maybe they're not even involved in a community. Being involved in a community is very important for you to be on your HOA, to be part of the tennis committee, or to be part of whatever it may be. You want to make sure that you're involved in those things within your community. 3, performance of the market. What's going on out there, right? We determine turnover rates in any farm, and anywhere between 5 and 6% is what we like to see. But again, because of the market being a little bit slower over the last couple of years with inventory, we suggest that you go back 5 to 10 years. Take a look at 5 to 10 years of what the turnover has been in those neighborhoods to really give you a better indicator if it's a viable source in a viable neighborhood for you to go spending resources in and investing in. And you want to specifically look for the unit sales. All right, I don't care about volume so much as I do the units and the number and the frequency of the people coming and going in that neighborhood. We like to start off with 250 as a minimum, but ideally, if you could do a farm area of 500 to 1,000, that's a nice sweet point or sweet spot, I should say. I was looking for that spot in your marketing. That if you can get to that, that's a good sampling. That's a good solid number. Doesn't kill the bank account too much there. And then once you start making money in that $5,000 farm, now you can expand into different farms and put more money into those. Determine the seller demographics, right? Like, is there kid toys on the lawn? You're walking a neighborhood, or they're older, folks that are there. What does your marketing look like when you're targeting to them, right? Make it more specific to them so that it's a little bit more compelling for them to open up your mail and to connect with you as a human being as well. And then you obviously have your unusual circumstances, right? School closings or moving, that could be a big consideration in going to neighborhoods. New developments maybe coming up across the road, maybe that detracts some people. They want to leave, so that can definitely help you sometimes these unusual circumstances. Some people don't like change. And when change happens, there's a lot of movement and change. So you got to take a look at what's going on there. Maybe it's a major employer moving and leaving town. Those type of things you want to keep an eye on. And definitely commercial exposures, right? No one wants an Amazon plant being built behind their house. That could be another consideration to look at. So these are some things that we look for and are major factors for our geographic farming. So now that you know the area, you know the type of property you want to go after, you know the neighborhood you want to go after, this is where the marketing mix comes in. And this content is what we didn't share so much with you guys last time. But I think it's important. That's why I wanted to bring it up today is that, you know, when you start off, you know, a lot of people think that geographic farming is just sending out a bunch of postcards. And it really isn't. It's a magnitude of different things. Billboards, it could be radio, it could be TV, it could be whatever you have to do in the market, right? It could be door hangers, it could be phone calls, emails. Postcards are just one factor and probably the easiest way to get in and the most popular, but there's other things that are out there. So if you're going to go after a neighborhood like I did in my neighborhood, you can't just send 1, 2, 3 postcards and be like, I just spent, 3 postcards over the last quarter and I didn't get anything from it. What I would recommend is that you gotta supercharge it. You gotta supercharge that neighborhood. You gotta come in strong. You gotta be known for the person. You gotta be showing up in their mailbox 3 times in that first month. All right, 3 times in that first month, 3 times the second month, 3 times the third month. That's 9 pieces of mail in letters and flyers that you put in there in the first quarter. Once you get through that first quarter, then you go to 2 for the next 3 months, right? So two months or 2 pieces in month 4, 5, and 6, and then you can go once a month thereafter. But my point is that you want to shock the system. You want to shock them so that they're seeing your information, they're getting your content, you're introducing yourself to the neighborhood, and you're giving them good, valuable information on stats, closings, different things that they could do for their home. Then you want to start looking at events. You're going to start getting some business in that neighborhood. So once you get your first listing, I don't even care if you have to list that house for free. I'm not saying to be a discount broker, but it's that important that you got to get that first listing. And when you get that first listing, you have to turn that into a major event. 15, 20 of your signs, open house, get it out there on a Wednesday if you can, if your neighborhood permits it. Let them know about that open house. Get those flyers out there. Invite all the sellers to come to it. You can even make a 12-to-1, residents or neighbors only. And then from 1 to 3, it's open to the general public. Make it special for them. Get to know who they are. But events are very important. We also have, I told you about inviting the neighbors. You could do the can for a cone event like I shared with you guys before, where you're actually having an ice cream truck come, giving out free ice cream in trade for a canned good for the food pantry. Home seller workshops. You can give free pies out. There's tons of things you can do within those neighborhoods. And we do them. It's not that we've done them and it didn't work. I'm sharing stuff with you that has worked and we've done and we still continue to do. Signage, I already mentioned, is a big piece. If there's billboards there that you could strategically get to that are going to have the neighbors in that neighborhood see on a consistent basis, I definitely recommend doing that. If not, make sure you got a lot of your listing signs out and your neighborhood realtor signs out as well. The other thing, co-branding, partnering with some local restaurants in your farm area, sponsoring teams, school events, golf tournaments. I just did a golf tournament in Florida that I sponsored. From that, I was able to meet a couple people. We played golf a couple days later, and that one foursome that I went with ended up in 2 conversations of sales that are be happening this spring, almost $10 million of business. One is a $6 million purchase, and the other one's a $4.5 million listing that he's flipping. He did a pre-construction that we're going to be listing for $4.5 million. I would have never have gotten that if I didn't meet them at the event, right, in the neighborhood, that then led me to bringing them out on a golf course and meeting them and talking shop from there. But they're starting to see my mailers now. They're starting to see my magazine article in that neighborhood. And just to give you some, you may or may not know this, I moved there about 3 years ago. In April this past year, I started mailing to them as my geographic farm, doing everything that I'm telling you guys here. And now we're starting to get traction. We have a couple listings already that we had, but now the neighbors are starting to get to know who we are. There is a dominant player. Actually, there's 2 dominant players in that market. So it took a little longer, But now they're like, hey, we get your stuff. We love your stuff. I loved what you said about, the market last month, and wanted information about their own property. And they said, we need more choices. The only two that are in their neighborhood is these two agents. And it's great to see that we have other options to go with. Volunteering, right? Sometimes, it doesn't have to be about money and spending, writing a check. If you can volunteer your time as well and getting face-to-face, school, boards, those type of things. All right, let's talk about online, and maybe I'm going to pick on you guys a little bit to maybe go a little deeper on these. But with online, SEO is very important, right? We didn't talk about this that much last time, but I also know that, with Facebook, I know that, once upon a time, we could zone in right to a neighborhood, right? Now we can't. Now we have to have, a 15-mile radius, right?
So you actually can still target people on a highly specific neighborhood or area. However, the secret behind it is having a custom list and uploading your own custom customer list, as opposed to using Facebook or whatever platforms, traditional marketing techniques. So if you take that list that you've geo-farmed already, that you're sending mailers to and doing a plethora of different marketing activities to, you can actually take that, modify it to fit Facebook's custom, or we're using Facebook in this example, but any pay-per-click platform, their custom targeting options, which usually just includes name, address, phone number, email, and you upload that, then you can actually only hit the people on your list. So it's actually the subtle workaround to this issue that Willie is bringing up, which has been a very true issue. And really, I don't know if they might be trying to block this workaround I'm talking about, but it would be impossible for them to block it.
Yeah,
So that's actually the secret. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I actually, we just started doing that, and I think it's on another slide or maybe the next slide. But I talked about uploading to a customized audience and being able to pull the records, the tax records on those. So you have their name, you have their address. Sometimes it provides you with a phone number and an email address, and then uploading it to Facebook and just letting them match the people that they have within their database to go after them. So, all right, so good stuff. So here I had on here, your online profiles, like taking a look at your, your Google, right? In your Google screen pages, business pages. I think a lot of agents don't know about Google Screen, and maybe we could talk a little about that as well. But, your Zillow, your Realtor.com pages even. Like, I'm going on and looking at these profiles. There's no reviews. You don't even have a picture of yourself on there. Like, people are looking online, right? When they see your name, they're Googling you, right? They're going online. They're going to Zillow. And if you're not on there and you're not showing up and there's no reviews, people are going to think that you're not really a real agent, right? Or that you're not doing that much business, and they're going to go to the next one that's got 50 reviews. So start somewhere. Start with one, and go to two, then go to 10 or whatever. But you got to get onto those platforms and do that. So, Nick, do you guys do anything with Google Screen?
Oh, so we do a lot of work with Google My Business, Google Streamed. Now, for everyone in the audience, Bruce and I actually are part of My State MLS, the nationwide MLS. We don't necessarily have the same consumer-facing target for our particular marketing strategies, but every single agent needs to have Google My Business. They need to set up their Google accounts appropriately and get reviews there, because here's the thing. Anybody who is not local to your market but wants to move in there and wants to do research and find a real estate agent or realtor to represent them in an area, a majority of them are going to start their search online. And a majority of them use Google. I mean, there are still some people that use Bing and Yahoo and other browsers, but if they go to Google, type in realtors in enter your city here, the amount of reviews that you have, the amount of 5-star reviews that you have, your SEO, your Google profile is going to determine who actually shows up, right? So it's a very prized position, but the realtor within a given market that has 300 Google reviews, they're getting dozens of leads that they are not paying for. And like any internet lead, you have to work them. You have to have your own process to actually follow up on those leads and make them work and turn them into customers. But that being said, that is free leads. So making sure that every single person leaves you a review is critical.
Awesome. All right. So, and then using the keywords, right? So on your website, like put that neighborhood in your website, put information about that area into your website, on your review pages or on your profiles on Google, on Zillow, on Realtor.com. Make sure that you're putting your farm area or your neighborhood, or maybe even some of the streets that are in that area, so that they show, and when people are looking for information or for homes in that area.
So
Yeah,
not to
and keywords-
cut into this. Sorry about
please,
that.
Bruce.
Yeah, so not to cut into this a little bit, but if you want to show up for the local area that you're targeting, it's an older tactic, but it still works very well, is that you can create some content surrounding the history of that street or the history of that neighborhood or the history of some of the commercial or residential buildings in that area. And that will give you enough relevance to start to show up in Google or in any other search, whether it's Bing, Yahoo, Brave, or what have you. And that will help you become a little more relevant.
Yeah, it's funny, Bruce, I did the same thing in my neighborhood down there. I did a top 5 things I loved about living in Old Cyprus, right? That was the name of my neighborhood. And I just went with the videographer, and we, did the clubhouse or the fitness center or the golf course, and, just different things like that, and talked about it in like a 10-minute video. And that got us a lot of traction, and a lot of people really loved the information. So I think that's what you're talking about. And then obviously in the description as well, putting that information in there. It's done, and we can all do it, right? It's very easy to do. But again, it's easier not to do than to do it. But it's definitely effective. So I like what you said, Bruce.
Well, and
actually doing a video.
To that point, the more specific, just to add on, the more specific, the better. Right? Everyone would love to dominate the search realtor in the state of New York. Everyone would love that. But in all reality, that you're going to get Coldwell, you're going to get just giant websites. They're going to win that SEO battle. You as a local agent with your own website isn't going to be able to show up on the first page. But if you're targeting a specific community within New York, within a specific city of New York, you have way better chances. So that's kind of what Bruce is saying. That's kind of the logic behind it. Target local, hyper local, and you'll have a higher chance to actually show. So this is just before I let you go ahead and pass it on, Willie. Also, for anyone who is currently a My State MLS member in the audience, we just launched a communities feature, which allows you to go in and actually claim specific communities so that your face and name shows up alongside that community search. And what's nice about you doing this, along with your posts, along with your other Google and all of the marketing that we're recommending right now, is that My State MLS, the domain itself, has a lot of domain authority. It has a lot of domain weight. In layman's term, Google likes us. So if you go in, take our pages, claim a community, and then add the unique content yourself, it is a good way to quickly get to the top of those search results and have your face show up for a specific community or location. So I just wanted to
piggyback on that. When you do claim a community, it'll prompt you to fill out and create some of the content and some of the steps that we've described here as well. So it'll kind of give you a crash course or very amateur course in how to create that content that Willie's talking about and that we were discussing.
All right, sounds good. So here we go. Social media, right? There's a bunch of different things on here that we just put out here, but getting in real Facebook groups. A lot of communities have a Facebook group set up or a private Facebook group. If you don't have a private Facebook group, then make one, right? Be one. The Nextdoor community apps are great to be on. You kind of see what's going on, be able to go on there. You're able to, give information or answer questions. I know I picked up a couple leads that way here locally in New York, where that Nextdoor app was pretty good. Someone was looking for a real estate agent, or someone's like, should I get a pre-home inspection done? I'm like, absolutely, and here's why. And even posted videos on there. So you become the neighborhood expert, and by being on some of these social networks and platforms, will definitely make you stand out as well. This is where I got into ads and same thing, Google, YouTube, you can really pinpoint, there's some limitations, but the customized audience, as Nick mentioned, will help you get around some of those things. And then there's a lot of different websites that you could pull the data from. People say, how do you get the names? How do you get the addresses? Here's just a couple that we use: PropStream, Remine, Property Radar, and Cole Real Estate Directory are 4 right there. But a lot of times your local MLS, has some type of software, usually these, that you're going to plug into and be able to download zip codes. You can download certain areas, streets, neighborhoods, and just makes it a lot easier. And like Nick said, you're going to upload it, it's going to match, and that way you're not wasting a lot of time going after people that are not even near your neighborhood. You're going to be pinpointing that certain area. Different ways to design your content. I talked about this last time, where you got Canva, you can hire a virtual assistant, maybe in a marketing department in your brokerage. Just make sure that it's compliant when you're doing it. If you're not good at marketing, then you're going to have to hire someone, really what it comes down to. And you can go to a local college. A lot of times their marketing departments are looking for, internships that are out there. Hire them. It's pretty cheap. And maybe it's even, your kid or son or daughter or friend of your son or daughters that are good at it. Hire them part-time to do it. You'd be surprised what type of talent that's out there. Mailing your content, 3 different ways: Every Door Direct Mailing, quantumdigital.com, itdirectmail.net. And there's also another one, Prospects Plus, that you can do. And basically, these are services that do all the work for you, and they'll even pull the list for you and send it out. But I like to use ITI Direct Mail for my letters that go out. And so they look professional, they're handwritten font, live stamp, and it looks like it's a letter from a friend, not a direct mail piece with a label on it. And then your Quantum Digital are great for postcards. We use our postcards, just listed, just sold, market update postcards, stuff like that. We use Quantum Digital. And in Every Door Direct, we usually use our flyers, 8.5 by 11 flyers that will mail to the entire, I wouldn't say zip code, but into the sub zip codes of that zip code. And there you got your door hangers and door drops as well, to be able to get that content out for you. All right, gave you guys a couple examples last time. Here's a just listed, sold. Here's a sold card. Here, just some examples on that. Again, you're just branding yourself out there, right? Getting yourself out there and brand. When I got Realtor of the Year last year, I branded it. I put it out there, let them know. Some different flyers out there, different headlines. Not happy, fire me, right? Basically, if you sign a listing agreement with me and you're not happy, fire me. And I'm putting that in writing for them. Here's another, again, sold, just sold, but then you want to have your call to action. They're driving back to your website, and here are all the reasons why now is a good time to sell. Our newsletter, this is the best thing. It's since sliced bread. Like I said, I'd get rid of all my marketing, and this would be the last thing I get rid of right here, the newsletter. This is a 3-page that we just sent out this past summer. We just put together our winter edition. But again, you're going over a little bit about you, some stats. There's my wife with her recipe, some stuff on our charity, and then here's a call to action to get a free copy of our book, what every person needs to know about selling in the Capital District. There's another newsletter, same thing, same concept. You're just talking about yourself, talking about people in the area, you're talking about things that you're doing. That's what people attract to. 60 to 70% of your newsletter needs to be personal, and then the other 20, 30% can be real estate related. They already know you're a real estate agent, right? But they want to know more about you. And again, know, like, trust. That's how you develop that brand. That's how you develop the commonalities. I had someone that I have in my neighborhood that he sent out a letter similar to this, but a newsletter. And in there, he talked about playing football for Alabama. Well, happened to be one of the people in the neighborhood is alumni of Alabama, and they're going to lunch next week. And he's 85 years old, but he knows a ton of people in the neighborhood, and this guy will get referrals from this guy based on that one newsletter that he sent out. But because Alabama, and he talked about going to a game, it connected the dots, right? So you just never know who you're going to influence. This is home valuation report, sending out those RPRs. You can send this out. This is a great letter to be able to send out with a CMA, or, we send them out with an RPR report. Just basically say that, I live in a neighborhood, I'm giving this information out to you. It's an estimate of what the algorithms are saying, but if you want a more accurate figure, be more than happy to stop by and take a look at it, right? People love it, and I've had people walk in our office with this report and want to list their property with us. Again, you want to be the expert, the authority, and a celebrity in your marketplace. I have a buyer letter, right? You guys always probably get this, but you have to have a buyer to do it. And we make sure when we have buyers that are looking in certain neighborhoods or areas that we get this out because it produces listings for us. And a lot of times we're able to bring our buyers and connect the dots. So this is a great proactive way to go get listings when listings are not on the market, to be able let them know our client's pre-approved, ready to go. It can be extremely flexible closing date and are willing to pay full market value if the inside of your home fits your needs. Give us a call. If you're going to be looking to sell in the next 2 to 3 months, give us a call, and it works. One of my other members, coaching members down in Florida, did it. She picked up 3 listings and matched one of her buyers to one of these using the same letter down there. She sent this out to 1,300 homes in her community. Here's another one. We sold $3 million homes and another buyer looking for $1 million plus. So we sent this out to homeowners that were $750,000 or more assessed value. And I think it went out to like 800 homes in my area. And we ended up picking up, we had 3 calls. We matched our buyer to one of them. The other one already had an agent, but he did list, so it was a good lead. And then the third one we ended up walking away from because the guy wanted like $250,000 more than what was even worth. Here's our Every Georgia Direct Mail flyer. Again, 8.5 by 11, harder stock, glossy finish. Send it out. People love to know what their homes sold for. They love to know what other homes are sold for in the area. This just happens to be a lot of the homes that we sold in our neighborhood. So I wanted to brag about it a little bit, right? Let them know. Here's one of my other agents. She's had a great year this year. Tons of listings, and she attributes it to her Every Georgia Direct mailing that she sends out every other month. So she does it 6 times a year. But again, a little bit about her, a little bit about what's going on in the market. Shows some stats here, as you can see. And then she compares herself to the other agents where she did 15 sales versus all the others. Brenda is now 6 years in a row, #1 for that school district in that area in Scotia Glenville in New York. This is something that we did through COVID, and we're starting to introduce again going into 2024. When you do open houses or you do an open house in a community, invite the community to come, right? You want to invite them to come to the open house. But what if you sent them a link for a live lunch, live at lunch, where they can actually go on Facebook and you're going to make it an event, make it an event right on Facebook that you're going to show the benefits and the feature of this home. Make sure you have great Wi-Fi and your audio is good. And you go in there and you just right in front of the house. Hey, everyone, I'm over here at 123 Main Street and we're at our open house today from 1 to 3. And I'm going to give you a quick preview. So come on in. Let's take a look, right? And you just kind of walk them through. You may not even show them the whole house. Maybe just the kitchen, the downstairs, and maybe the outside and what it looks like. And then say, hey, to come see the rest of the house, come take a look at it. Or go to my link. If you can't see it, here's the photos for it. We would get thousands of views, guys. Thousands of views on this. And works so good you stop doing it, right? So I brought this up to my team going into for 2024. What are we going to start doing again that worked for us in the past? And this was one that came up to the top of the list. And doing a live Facebook out to your list or out to your your people in Facebook world. And you could probably do this. I haven't done it, but you could do a live YouTube, right? A live Instagram. Maybe you guys can shed light a little bit on that.
Yeah, I mean, you can go live to all of the different platforms. Right now, where we're currently broadcasting out of Riverside is actually a free platform that you can use to go live to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I believe there are 6 different options. You can go live to all of those different platforms at once. And that's absolutely free if you have a free account. So there are many different ways that you can go live on all these channels, or you can go direct. What we recommend is go where your following base is. Like if you spend all your time on Facebook and that's where people are expecting you to post, then go live on Facebook, right? If you want to go live everywhere, if you've been trying to garnish a social following across different platforms, then definitely use Riverside. Now that being said, when you're streaming to multiple different platforms through this or OBS studios or whatever method you want to do it, there will be a slight learning curve and extra knowledge that you have to learn about the system. So I would recommend, if you stay on Facebook, if you don't have YouTube videos, stay on Facebook. Just use their straightforward user experience and just kind of go wherever your audience is.
Yeah, great point.
Now,
the other
in
thing
terms
too
of
is that
getting audience, go ahead.
was that. No, I was just going to say we ended
I
up
was
picking
just
up
gonna say,
other seller leads that came through from this because people were like, "Wow, I want that done in my house." Right? I never saw that before. We want that done in our house. So, and we would pick up other listings because they really loved this live at lunch that we did, right? And we would do it from, like I said, 12 to, you saw, the 12:30 or 12:45, just before the 1 o'clock open house that we had scheduled for that Sunday.
yeah,
Or
you
Friday.
mentioned,
We did
you
it Friday
mentioned,
here in the afternoon.
you mentioned these
Sorry, Nick.
events would get a lot of views for you guys. That's because a lot of consumers, when they think real estate, I mean, granted, if you own a home, you're interested in the numbers of your neighborhood. But for a lot of people across the internet, they just want to see nice houses. They just want to see houses that are staged and look pretty, right? So doing this method, if you have a nice staged house, it's a great way to get people to see your face. It's an extra touch, kind of back to the whole presentation of itself, right? The point of geographic farming is that you want your face to be everywhere. Every time they search Google, you want to show up. Every time that they look in their mailbox, you want to show up, right? Every time that they open Facebook, you want your video to show up. So giving people content that they want, even if they're not your exact buyer, is still going to help you own a community and help you in the long term.
Yep. All right, and then the last piece, obviously, the fortunes in the follow-up, right? So, making sure that you have a yearly marketing calendar set up, select the months that you're going to be mailing out to your farm, decide the content and the events that you're going to do for the year, and then after that, obviously, is the follow-up to these to make sure that you get them done and execution of getting this off the ground. So this was the postcard that we sent out for the community event, trade a can for a cone. This works very well. Cost you maybe $200-300 to give out free ice cream. But you're getting the community involved. People love it. There's a picture I think I showed you guys last time of the kids out getting ice cream. They gave us the canned goods. I had my truck following the ice cream truck. Great event there. You could do Easter events, right? People love anything with kids. People love. So these Easter events work great. We bought the costume, right? So we got an Easter bunny costume, and then from there we have people come in and get their picture with the Easter bunny. Families flock to us. They loved it. You could do it in your community. Same thing here. The breakfast with Santa. I had my agent. We just had 3 of them, actually 4 of them this past week, breakfast with Santa. Those go out very well. People love it. Postcards, I already shared with you a few postcards, but these are some good ones from the past that we sent out that still work very well, where you're giving top 10 sales for that neighborhood, some local stats, and then obviously you want to call to action, finding out what their home is worth online. Here's a couple more examples of that. This is a pie event. We gave out 700 pies the Tuesday before Thanksgiving to our clients, but you could also do it for geographic farming, where if you want to just set it up at your house, give out free pies. You're not going to get 500, if you're in a neighborhood of 500 people, you're not going to have 500 people want to buy. You're going to get, we found, anywhere between 10 to 20% at best. So for 500, if you got to buy 100 pies, that's great. They're only about $10 a piece. You're going to spend $1,000, but I guarantee you, you're going to meet a lot of neighbors. You're going to be shaking hands with a lot of them, and the law of reciprocity kicks in also, where, hey, I gave you this free pie, and if you're looking to sell your house, give me a call, or if you know of anyone, type of thing. So you're definitely going to put yourself on the map, and it's better than any billboard you can buy or any Zillow lead that you could buy as well. Community spotlights, doing that. We've done videos for our neighbors and our businesses within the community, promoting them. You can go to Willie Miranda at YouTube, or go to YouTube and just type in Willie Miranda and look at community spotlights. You can watch some of these videos. We probably got 10 of 12 of them on there, but these are done very nicely. And that's it. So this was just if you guys want to fly to Albany, New York on March 12th, you're more than welcome to do so. But we're going to be having our third annual Real Estate Success Summit on Tuesday, March 12th from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Desmond Hotel in Albany, New York. So again, this was a presentation I did for our Albany agents. So, but if you're interested in something like that, March 12th, just give me a call and we'll get you in free of charge to be able to participate.
Hey, Willie. So the last slide, you kind of glossed over it, but I think that idea has a lot more weight than to just be glossed over. Because one aspect that some people, if you're a newer agent, you may not realize this, but business owners in your community, that is a local influencer, right? That is somebody who not only will they be hopefully in the tier of buying nicer homes, and thus if you make good relationships with them, they'll give you a higher commission. But also these are people that have a lot of connections in the community. Like let's say someone owns a restaurant. How many people have met that business owner through going to the restaurant? And because they're a business owner, they're often respected in the community. So a referral from a local influencer is actually more valuable than a referral from just a Joe Schmo. I mean, that's
very true. I mean, people trust other people, and that's still a thing.
You got it. No, it definitely is. And it's worked great for us.
Yeah. So I
want to know when your next golf tournament is.
You're doing a golf tournament?
No, I said I wanted to know when Willie's next golf tournament is.
Oh, our golf tournament? We're going to be doing one. Well, the next one is not going to be until September of next year. So the third week of September, we're going to be doing one for the Children's Hospital. And this will be our 16th annual. So we'll put that out there for you guys, though, for sure. But
yeah, Bruce will go and show you up, and I'll go and make everyone look good.
Yeah, I don't think we can. I would say just go to YouTube. You can actually watch those videos. I don't see them on here. But
yeah, but yeah, and to the point that local influencers, those community influencers, the businesses matter. When you're offering to do them favors, it goes back to the law of reciprocity. Like he was saying, if you do something solid for a business owner, right, then they are going to feel, wow, this person valued me. I should probably help lift their business up as well, right? It's working together with your community that is also going to propel you beyond the current point that you're at.
Yeah. No, so true.
Real fast.
And I'll just share.
Like to open
yeah.
Please.
I'll just share real quick with the barber that I had. She was my first community spotlight. And, as most of us, we like to stay with the same person that does your hair. And I've been going to her for 15 years, and not once did I get a referral from her. And again, she had other people. She had a family member in the business as well. But she cut like 15 different realtors' hair, right? And when I did this spotlight for her, and if you guys see it, it's done professionally and quality. Within the following 6 months, I picked up 3 referrals from her. And the first day I went in her shop after the video was done, she came up to me, gave me a big hug, and was in tears. And she's like, "Thank you so much for doing that. What do I owe you?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it." I said, "If you know of someone looking to buy or sell, send them my way." But I want to help you and promote your business. She had 16,000 likes. I can't tell you the number of comments. Congratulate her, great job. That's not the other thing, right? And so no one's doing that for small businesses. So as real estate agents, let's be the hub to get out there. And now I'm into her database, right? She shared it on her social media platform. So again, it's just a great concept and something that I think. Works so good you kind of stop doing it, and that's another big plus for us going into 2024. COVID put the brakes on a lot of things for a lot of people, but I think that that's another big one that I would definitely recommend for people to do.
Yeah, so I'll open it up if anyone has any questions, and then while waiting, giving some opportunity to ask questions. That's why on social media, my personal recommendation, as well as many experts in the field's recommendation, is rather than focusing on just building your brand, there are times when you just want to put your face on something with the proper messaging, get it to the right people, of course. But if you're going to spend time trying to develop and grow a page, rather than just making it only about you or your company, we'd almost recommend making it about the community itself, right? If you can garnish a Facebook page that's, right now I'm in Jupiter, Florida. If I could make a page called Jupiter, Florida that had 10,000 locals that were all engaged with this page and enjoyed the different content, not only is that valuable just to propel my business, but it's also valuable because you can go to the hairdresser that Willie just mentioned, not only help them make the video, but you can say, hey, you know what, I also run this page. And would love to I'd love to highlight that video on this page for you and really help get more eyes on the local community in your business, right? You're creating value for these different influencers so they in turn want to give you value. All right. Any questions come in? It does not look like it. All right, folks. Any last thoughts from Willie or Bruce?
Bruce, any closing comments, Bruce?
We gotta go play golf. We gotta play golf sometimes.
All right, guys.
My
so
closing,
much for
yeah,
tuning in.
my close. Yeah, I'm just gonna say my closing comment is just, now is a great time of the year. Definitely spend time with family, enjoy yourselves, but also make sure that you're planning your next year and getting on it sooner than later, so that you don't miss that momentum going into 2024, which should be a very good year. What I'm seeing with real estate agents, and hopefully interest rates are going to be dropping by second quarter. If that happens, it's going to be another great year for us.
So during that closing thought, Dana asked, how do you determine turnover rates? Within your customers, are you saying? Within people already in your database?
No, turnover rate's going to be for a neighborhood, right? So let's just say, keep the math simple. If you have a neighborhood of 100 homes and 6 of them sell within that 12-month period, you have a 6% turnover rate, right? If 10 sold, you're a 10% turnover rate. So ideally, the sweet spot is anywhere between 5 and 6% turnover rate to make it a feasible neighborhood that you want to invest your resources in. If no one's selling, right, and it's 100 homes and one person sold their house in the last year, it's not really a lot of juice there, right? But if 5 or 6 people sold out of 100, then that's a viable neighborhood that I would definitely put money into. Because again, it's for the long term, right? If you're not going to do it for 12 months, don't do it for 2.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
Nice.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Happy holidays. We will see you guys in 2024.
All right, sounds good. Take care.